Hello, I'm Clifford Lee Fields II, and this is American Military University SPHS 502 Motor Learning. Today I will be presenting a demonstration on feedback of the barbell squat using knowledge of performance and proprioception. The barbell squat is also known as the back squat. It's a compound exercise that activates muscle groups primarily throughout your lower body, including hamstrings, glutes, and lower back muscles. The primary muscles activated on the anterior side from top to bottom are the deltoids, pectoralis major, gluteus medius, sartorius, vastus lateralis, rectus femoris, vastus medialis, and adductor. On the primary muscles activated on the posterior side from top to bottom are the trapezius, deltoids, triceps brachii, latissimus dorsi, external obliques, gluteus maximus, biceps femoris, gastrocnemius, lateral and medial heads, and the semitendinosus. Feedback for the back squat. One skill is knowledge of performance. This is information that is received from the athlete on how to perform that skill. And they receive this information from their coach or trainer, but they can do it in various ways. One primary way to do it is as the coach, they can perform that skill to the athlete, so the athlete can see directly from their coach what to look for in making sure that the back squat is being performed the correct way. Other tools that you can use as well is, watching videos, video or even videotaping the athlete themselves, seeing what things are they doing right, what things they're doing wrong, and this translates over to being descriptive knowledge as well, because that way they can go back on that video, and the coach can tell the athlete what they're doing right, what things they're doing wrong, certain cues that they give them as far as like the back squat when keep your back flat, chest up, your feet, the heel shouldn't be off the ground, right? Visualize your foot as a triangle and putting your body weight in the middle of your foot. Those steps like that are very important when it comes to an athlete understanding how to perform that skill. So hearing that external reinforcement from their coach will later on translate into long term as an internal reinforcement for them. So that way it'll be more of a self-correct skill. Once they perform that skill again later on down the line, they know what they did right, what they did wrong, and certain things they need to do to fix that skill. And then that translates to your proprioception. All right, understanding proprioception and how your body works, how your body moves, how to manipulate your body. A couple of exercises that you can do for the squat to understand proprioception are the lunges, leg kicks, and squat bender. All right, these are just a couple. No, these are just three, but there are various exercises out there that you can do to understand proprioceptive exercises for the back squat, and this helps your body. Helps the athlete understand how their body works, what things they need to work on when it comes to actually performing the back squat. Once that is being mastered, this translates over also to knowledge of results. So knowing that the athlete wants to perform the back squat the correct way, they see the results. Obviously, if the squat isn't performed the correct way, they see the results from that as well. So it's a direct reinforcement for the athlete to see what they did right, what they did wrong. But the main part is understanding what you did right and what you did wrong when it comes to knowledge of results. Knowing that you didn't perform it the right way is one thing, but understanding what you need to do to fix it, and is a whole different aspect. When it comes to degrees of freedom, it's important for the coach to apply freezing the degrees of freedom to the athlete. This way, you get a step by step on what movements you should have and what movements are very important when successfully performing the squat. So from top to bottom, as a coach, you want to freeze frame the athlete, with the barbell behind their neck, making sure that they have their chest up, looking straight ahead, and that their feet are equally distributed, shoulder width apart. From here, you want to slowly, and this is also without weight, mind you. So, of course, you don't want to do this with weight; that it'll be way harder. But when you have the athlete lower their body as if they're sitting in a chair, all right, you want them to freeze that as well to ensure that their hips are back, their feet are parallel to the ground, forming that 90-degree angle with their feet. Okay, and you want to try to ensure that their body weight is equally distributed in the middle of their foot. That way, there's not too much weight going forward or backwards. This allows the athlete to fully understand that it's important to have that body weight and understanding that body transition from from the top to bottom. Stabilizing your core as well is very important. Contracting your core. All right. So once you release the degrees of freedom, it releases from bottom up. So when you freeze it, you go from top to bottom, but the order of release from the squat will be from bottom up. So you're releasing, that degrees of freedom from your legs, from being at a 90-degree angle, to your hips being pushed back. Now you're pushing them up to form that upper position. Excuse me. To form that upper position, keeping that chest up, looking straight ahead, and your body equally distributed in the middle of your foot. So performing the back squat is important to understand the posture you should have. So when you approach the bar, you want to get a evenly grip on the barbell. There's grips along the bar that you can gauge, if you will. Thumb grip is the most, that's the most popular one. So having that thumb grip, and once you get the bar off the rack, you want to have your feet slightly wider than your hips. Once you step back, before you perform the squat, you want to tighten your stomach muscles. So standing up tall, gently pull your shoulders back, lift your chest. On an exhale, try to pull your navel into your back. I know that sounds a little weird, but that's the best way I can explain it. Or you can just understand that, or try to pretend that you're sitting in a chair. All right, to engage your abdominal muscles, which keep the spine and pelvis stable. All right, this helps keep your back straight. All right, and your hips back and your chest up. All right, that's very important. So next, you want to bend your knees while keeping your upper body as straight as possible, as if you were lowering yourself onto a seat behind you, like I said earlier, right? It is okay to allow your torso to tilt naturally as you squat. Just don't collapse your chest or round your shoulders forward, because if you do that, that makes your body go forward with the weight, especially if you have weight on that bar. Gravity will pull you forward, and you're gonna fall, and you could possibly injure yourself very hard. All right. If you're too erect, your hips cannot release properly, and you'll pull too much strain on your knees. All right. So keep that in mind as well. You don't want to bend. You don't want your knees to go past your feet. All right, because that'll put a strain on your knees, and it can cause injury as well. When you lower yourself as far as you can without leaning your upper body more than a few inches forward, go as deep as you can comfortably. If you have knee issues, don't go deeper than 90 degrees. But if you're pretty healthy, you can go at a 90-degree angle. That's like the perfect angle to go. All right, with your thighs parallel to the floor. All right. Again, don't allow your knees to go too far forward. Also, don't let your knees cave inward. All right, press them outward, almost as if you were pushing out an invisible resistance band. All right. so they can stay aligned with your feet as you do the squat. Straighten your legs between. Straighten your legs, being careful not to lock your knees when you reach a standing position. Keep your heels glued to the floor as you squat. I like to picture this as my foot as a triangle with your pinky toe and your big toe and your heel. That's the triangle, right? So you want all your body weight in the middle of your foot. All right, you don't want it too far forward on your toes to where you fall forward, and you don't want your body weight on the back of your heels either, because then you'll fall backwards. All right, that's why also that's why it's important to have a spotter usually behind you in the event that does happen, because sometimes the more weight you add, the harder you get rid of those important things, and you tend to kind of lose it. All right, so you want to have that spotter behind you in case all your body weight falls on your heels and you fall backwards. This concludes my class on feedback, proprioception, freezing the degrees of freedom. My name is Clifford Lee Fields II, and this is SPHS 502 Motor Learning. Thank you.